All right, I've been kind of teasing this, but I kind of agree with Jason. There are different ways to do headphones.
Yes.
And if you are willing to really go, all out, there's a technology called, what is it, electromagnetic planar?
Planar headsets.
Planar magnetic headphones. We gave Jason a pair of the HIFIMAN HE-400i headphones, and he had this report.
I'm here with a pretty rockin' pair of headphones. These are the HIFIMAN HE-400i headphones. They're a little big, as you can see, but I'm going to get into it with these because they are using a technology called planar magnetic technology inside. What is that? It's like a mix of dynamic and electrostatic drivers inside. Instead of a miniature cone or like a dome that you get with dynamic drivers, planar magnetic uses a large, thin, and flat magnetic diaphragm, which is kind of why it's so wide and flat here. It moves quickly, has awesome transient response. That was one of the first things that I noticed because of all that width. And you can kind of see it in there, see the plate in there. It was super hot in the 70s and the 80s. Now it's coming back in a number of high-end headphones, this being one of them. And I've really enjoyed my time with these headphones. First of all, the design, super solid, substantial. It's a little heavy, but honestly, when I throw it on my head here, you've got these adjustable straps here to account for if you have a big noggin or not. It rests really nicely, and it actually distributes the weight pretty evenly, so you don't feel like you're wearing a weight the whole time that you have these big headphones on your head. But it has an open back design, so there's audio leakage that happens when you're listening, but it also, kind of the benefit of that is it almost emulates what it sounds like when you're in a room listening to speakers. It lets some of the ambient noise come through as well as the really high quality audio. Low noise on here. The cord is a bit short for my taste. It's around 5.5 feet, which is really short depending on what you're plugging it into. But, your mileage may vary. And a phone can actually drive these. That can't be said for a lot of high-end headphones. You can drive this with your phone, though you might wish that you had a little bit more gain on it. As far as the sound is concerned, stereo imaging is super precise. It's one of the first things that I noticed when I put these on my head. Opened up the detail in my own music. I really use these primarily for mixing some of the music that I'm writing at home. And I was just amazed at what I heard with these that I didn't hear with these AKGs that I've been using for years now, which were fine in their own right, until the HIFIMAN HE-400i's came along and totally shattered my idea of good headphones. Highs are super clear on the high end, maybe a tad harsh at times, but overall very revealing, and especially with that transient response, things just sounded really clear. Mids, I'd say the mids are where it's at. Incredibly transparent, super opaque, side by side with my AKGs. I mean, there's really no comparison in that realm. Things just sounded muddy on my AKGs. Then I put it on here and everything had a lot of detail. And then, of course, the low end, rich, not too overemphasized. So you're not going to get an exaggerated, emphasized low end or bass. More natural sounding than anything. But man, I just heard so much clarity of my bass instruments and things that I hadn't heard before. It was really eye-opening. So overall, with the HIFIMAN HE-400i, you can get it for around $500, though Amazon has them for $350. I noticed this morning. I feel like it's great for mixing, not so good for recording because of the open back design. Also for shared environments, if you're listening to music, other people are going to hear the music that you're listening to. But as for me, I fully intend on picking up a pair of these bad boys because it's going to be really hard for me to go back to the AKGs. I just loved the HIFIMAN HE-400i's that much. I have to get myself a pair. You can catch me on all sorts of shows on the TWiT network. Of course, Tech News Today, all about Android, and Android App Arena, and I hope that you do.
We should point out that they cost 10 times more than the AKGs, so there is a reason why they sound better. I have their big brothers, the 560s, and the words he kept using, like open and transparent, that's exactly what you hear on planar magnetic. It's hard to describe until you actually hear it.
The worst thing you can do if you are one of these people who truly loves audio quality is to go to a store or to go to like a CES and put on a decent set of planar headphones because then nothing else will do.
Yeah, it spoils you. Yeah, it really does. Thank you. Next week, we're going to give him another audiophile headphone. People often refer to the Audeze, A-U-D-E-Z-E. Am I saying that right? Audeze, as being the ones to beat. So we'll find out. He's going to wear earbuds from Audi's next week with Jason Howell, host of All About Android and, of course, Tech News Today.